Hello traders, today is Monday, December the 30th, 2024. I'm going to start the video with AMD. Keep in mind, this content is for educational purposes only. This is not financial advice. Do your own due diligence before you try to invest your money or risk your money in any type of investment. So what we're looking here at AMD is well, we actually went down over 2%, 2.2%. Let's take a look at the 5-minute. I just want to see something really quick. It was pretty much flat after hours. You had a start of a sell-off pre-market, and then you came down, and buyers basically never came into the picture. However, one thing that is important to keep in mind is that we're still, managing to stay above the support level at 121. I think if we break 121, 111 would come pretty fast. Hopefully I am wrong, because I have July or I think June calls on AMD. But putting that aside, I think that AMD is definitely going to bounce at one point. Not sure exactly when, but I think if we retest this level of support and then we come back after, I would say sometime next week, then we might actually see a nice move to the upside towards 134. But for now, I think we should take it day by day. I think that this week, as I said yes on yesterday's video, it's going to be a difficult week to trade. And, I would be very mindful of how I face my trading for the next week. And today I also found out that next week is also going to be a short week of trading. Is it next week or maybe the following week? It's because they're closing the market on January the 9th because of Jimmy Carter's death. I think it's a bunch of shit, but there's nothing we can do about it. So that being said, keep an eye on this level of support at 121. MACD and TSI are now still under the zero line, but they're looking kind of neutral. Yesterday, I really didn't know. They were about to crash as far as what I was looking at on yesterday's video. After Friday's trading, you could see that the signal line was being crossed by the MACD line and the TS line. But, today looks more flat. You had a rejection on the TSI, and now the RSI is looking down. So we'll see what we actually get tomorrow and the following days. But I think in the next month or so, AMD might probably give us a nice surprise to the upside. If you break support at 121, you're probably going to go quickly towards 111. That would be a little bit dangerous, but it might actually be a good opportunity to grab some options or some shares down the line. But for now, as I said, keep it this at least for this week and maybe the next week. We have to face things on the daily basis. Now let's move on to the next name, and I'm gonna cover Bitcoin again. And let me take a quick note here. So very interesting what we saw today. So right on this candle, you went down, and I was afraid when I was looking at this, because we were actually, the body of this candle, was under this level of resistance of support, at 92. And what I said yesterday is, like, if you actually break 92 to the downside with momentum, we might actually see a continuation towards 86. Now, we're not out of the weeds yet, but this level of support is holding the line so far. But we'll see what we get in the next hours, and we'll see how we get, or what we get by tomorrow morning. We're definitely going to see or get more color into this whole picture and understand what is actually transpiring here. If we break 92, my concern is that we're going to go straight to 86, and then from 86 towards 77, there is basically no liquidity, so that would move very quickly to the downside. Well, for now, we just have to keep an eye on 92. That I think that is crucial, and it's going to be crucial for a lot of other shares, as you know. So you're, CLSK, and then you have Coin, Riot, Mara, Iron, and a bunch of other stocks that are very sensitive to coin are gonna have a similar reaction to the downside. Again, 92 is a level that you have to keep your eye on for now. Now let's move on to, since I was talking about Bitcoin, let's talk about Coinbase. And I haven't mentioned Coinbase in a while. I mention Coinbase every now and then, but I'm not gonna look for it right now. But you're under this trend line right here, which comes from this prior high from, what is it, March of this year, and then you have this other high right here coming at July, and now you're under the side of the trend line. Now, I think it's more important to hold the line at 235. I think if you don't break 235, you're just gonna cut through the 200 SMA and go straight into 208. But for now, we have to keep an eye on this level of support. Your level of support is 235, or 236 is 235.85. That's what I have here, but it could be 236. MACD and TSI are looking bearish. The same with the RSI. You're getting more divergence on the TSI line and the signal line. That's not good. And also on the histogram on the MACD, you're also catching a little bit more momentum. Volume is increasing to the downside as well. Let's take a look at a 5 minute and see how this behaved. Not good. So you had a sell-off, buyers came back in, and then you kind of topped, and then continue going down, and there was a continuation to the downside after hours. Let me go to the 4 hour. I want to see how much was the drop after hours. Almost 2% after hours. Okay. Well, Bitcoin, to be honest, in my opinion, doesn't look too good. We are at what price point after hours? We are at 250. Wow. Yeah. So if we go, we are right here, almost at the end of this week. So we're close enough to 235. So this could get quite interesting. There is low liquidity here, which is also not a very good thing, especially if you're going to, if you're going down. And let's actually mark this right here pretty quickly, because I like, as some of you know, I like to highlight gaps and price action because, they tend to feel. So anyway, excuse me. This is going to be interesting. The market is showing weakness, but I'm not bearish on the market yet. I think there is indications that we're probably gonna get a little bit of a continuation of a rally towards next month. But this week, and even maybe next week, we're still gonna see some either profit taking or tax harvesting from investors and whatnot. So we'll see what we get, but I do think that 235 or 236 is very, very possible. You have low liquidity here. Bitcoin is not doing too good, and if Bitcoin is actually breaking 92, then Coinbase is actually gonna feel it. Now let's go and take a look at our friends of HIMS, and even though this name is going down, it was down 2.23%. Let's go take a look at the 5 minute and see. It was pretty much flat after hours, but you had this nice rebound towards the middle of the trading day, and then after that, and we saw that in a lot of other names, you actually had a sell-off again. That being said, now we are under 25.5, which was a pretty strong level of support. Now we're under this, and I think we're probably going to continue towards 23.5. Are we going to hit 23.5? Maybe, but you have more chances to get towards 24 at least. Now, this is part of the range in which I thought that the stock could actually continue going down. I think there's going to be opportunities for HIMS to actually grab some positions to the up, to the upside. Yes. But I think at least I personally want to give it a little more time. I think this still has more room to continue going down. Why am I saying that? It's because now you're catching more divergence right on the zero line between the TSI line and the signal line. You're seeing something very similar on the MACD. These indicators tend to behave in a similar way, but sometimes you can see some discrepancies between them. The RSI is also moving a little bit more quickly, towards the 30 line. We're not even there yet, but it's not looking too good. The histogram here also is telling you a little bit of a story. You have have a lot of liquidity here. I think this looks better than what we had 2 weeks ago, but definitely 23.5 could be a target in to the downside at this point. I still have on the table 21.7. If we get to that point, that would be fantastic. If we break 21.7, then you're going to run towards the 200 SMA or even down towards 18.8. But for now, let's just focus on 23.5 and the level of current support, considering price action of today, which is 25.5. HIMS is actually looking good in my opinion, not because it's the moment or the time to trade it right now, is because it's actually setting up for a move to the upside. Now we just have to keep an eye on these levels of support, 23.5 and 21.7. Sorry, I have a Roomba in one of the rooms and it's doing its Roomba thing. Let's actually talk about MobileEye, which is quite interesting how this name is moving. Last time I mentioned MobileEye was, or MBLY, was on Monday the 16th. I was here. One of the things that I said is that if you break this level right here of resistance at 19, you're probably going to run towards 24.8. Well, the next day, which was on Tuesday the 18th, or wait, I was Monday, so the next trading day was Wednesday. Wait, no, yeah, I was Monday. The next trading day, or 2 days later, you actually had the sell-off, but you have the 35 SMA right here. You had a nice rebound, and now you're mounting 19 again, and this actually looks pretty solid. Most of my list, as you can tell, let me take a look at this. Yeah, I was looking at London Depot. Anyways, most of my list, as you can tell, was pretty much red, and throughout, across the board, we had more red than green, which is fine. I don't think that's completely bad, at least for now. But one of the things that I'm liking about MobileEye is, and this still has steam to continue going up. Now we have to break over the 200 SMA, and that would be, I guess, additional confirmation that this move is going to continue towards 25 or 24.8. That's what I have right here. So we can reach this level pretty quickly. We have low liquidity here, and we have momentum. MACD and TSI are over the zero line, but it looks like they are actually pushing with a little bit of strength. Volume is coming up as well. The RSI is not overbought. It's not neutral either. So we'll see what we get. But I think this week might be interesting for MobileEye. This week, just like last week, by the way, we are going to experience low levels of volume compared to other weeks. But other than that, I think this is looking pretty nice. We just have to pay attention to the price action around this area on the 200 SMA. But other than that, I think this can reach 25 sooner than what we think. It doesn't actually need much time. I mean, it's a little bit of a difficult week to trade, in my opinion, but this definitely has a pretty nice setup. It's coming out of this level of resistance that was pretty strong, as you can tell here with all the wicks. It tried to break it, it got rejected, and now this bounce of the 35 SMA looks really good. On Friday, you broke, or actually on Thursday, you broke resistance. Friday, you maintained it, and today you're still mounting this level. Very interesting. Before I finish with, yeah, I mean, you had a little of a sell-off, bound rebound on this, and then you came back up, and actually you maintained those levels very nicely on the 5 minutes. Now let's move on to, let me fix this. I want to talk about Meta. Interesting. So I tell you what I did with Meta. I did buy some calls, and I think I'm gonna increase my position. These are, let me take a look right now really quick. I think I bought September calls. Oh no, these are August calls. Okay, August 15. So it today for Meta and the Max 7 stocks, we saw this move right here. That actually I just mentioned HIMS, and it has a kind of a similar drawing as far as candles goes. But anyways, I did day trade Meta for a little bit, so I cut it. Let's go to 1 minute, so I show you where I got it. I got in on this area right here, and I got out right on the 200 SMA. That was the first one, and then the second one, I got it right under out of this rebound on the how you call it, that 325 SMA, and then I kept that position. I think I'm gonna ride that position for a little bit longer and see how that goes. One thing that that I like is that we're still on top of this this level right here on the trend line. One thing that makes me a little bit uncomfortable, and I tell you more than one, is that we closed under 35 SMA. And another thing is a MACD and the TSI is still looking a little bit bearish. Now I gave myself enough room to actually being able to grab more contracts in case this actually goes down towards 574 or 575, but we'll see how this is going to behave. I like Meta. I think we're gonna move to the upside sometime next month, and again this week I don't want to count this week as a I guess as a week that I can really have a decent estimation of price action. But one of the things that I liked is during trading today is, and you had this sell-off, and then buyers came back in, and then sellers came, but you actually but it wasn't that bad. Then you're flat after hours, which is fine, but we'll see how we look. I want to see this price either mounting the 35 SMA or seeing a nice retest on this area right here. Now it is possible also that you can go down towards 575 and then retest this level and continue going down. If you break this, I wouldn't like that if that happens, then you have pretty much a free fall towards 143. Well, I shouldn't say free fall because you have a liquidity here, but it would be deterioration towards for 543. Yeah, the 200 SMA is moving that. Yeah, but for now, I'm just keeping an eye on the 35 SMA, which is this line right here, this trend line as well, and also keeping an eye on support at 575. Now let's move on and take a look at, I went to the wrong screen, Microsoft. This is another name that I actually like. I don't have a position yet, but there's a little bit of concern. When I was looking at this stock and I wanted to trade it, but I was trading Meta and Nvidia, day trading them, but I love this move. And then you had this nasty candle at the end of the trading session, which pretty much ruined the whole move. And what I'm trying to say here is you were mounting the 200 SMA and then you closed right under it. Now we'll see what kind of reaction we get. You are also right on top of this trend line that is coming from from all-time highs, and from this line right here, which is August 5th. Yes. So you have this symmetrical triangle here, and then you have this bounce on the trend, on the top trend line, but you're still closing under the 200 SMA. That's worrisome. Now the MACD and the TSI are also a little bit bearish, same as the RSI, but they're close to the zero line. You weren't extended in this area, so I'm not too worried about what I'm seeing here yet. Now this can continue going down, and that would be bad. But I think if we continue getting rejected on the 200 SMA, we're gonna go back towards 415, which is a very stubborn level. We have been talking about this key level at 415 for a while. I feel like I've mentioned 415 in Microsoft quite often, and it's coming from this level right here. which dates back to almost a year ago, February 2024. Interesting. So we'll see how we react on the 200 SMA. We'll see if there is a rebound if we continue going down at 415. If we break 415, then you're going straight under 400. I'm not sure if the 325 SMA would hold, but for now, let's just keep an eye on this trend line, the 200 SMA, and also keep an eye on 415. One of the things that what I'm thinking is that a lot of names are gonna rebound and give us a pretty decent opportunity to position ourselves again to get pretty decent gains again. So just be mindful on the timing of when you enter and when you exit. Now let's talk about this, the last name of the day, that is Nvidia. And I told you yesterday that I did have calls on Nvidia. I bought these calls before I went on vacation for Christmas, and I did buy them, yeah, somewhere around here, either on this candle or one of these two candles. I'm not sure. And what happened is that I actually wanted to sell on this candle right here, but I was on my phone when I was looking at this, and I was actually shopping. I was in a mall in Florida, and I was like, whoa, this is looking pretty good. Maybe I should sell. But I was busy. I was with my kid and my family, and I just didn't want to deal with it. Anyways, so today at open, not at open, but a little bit after open, in this peak right here, I did sell my entire position. My position was for, I believe, was July. I had July calls. So I was already green, not as green as I was here on this candle, on this doji right here, but I was green. I was somewhere close to the 35 SMA. No, not close to the 35, somewhere around this area. I was green. I didn't mind selling, but then what I thought was, well, I just sold and I'm happy with it. When this went down to this, towards this area, I started a new position. Now I have a new position for Nvidia, and they are calls for September 19th, 2025. And then over here, they were looking fantastic already. They were looking beautiful. But I did buy some here, and I think somewhere in this area right here when this started moving towards the 35 SMA, and then I left it alone. And since I started adding to my position in this area, by the time we were closing, my position was already red, which is fine. These are September calls. But one of the things that is worth pointing out on Nvidia is what you're seeing here. These are, I have this list. These are the Magnificent Seven. This is an ETF, but then you have Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia, and Tesla. Out of all of them, Nvidia was really pushing hard. It lost momentum towards the end of trading, but it was pushing really hard. And I was very surprised, and that's why I was comfortable with adding a new position. Now, this time I moved it forward a couple of months down. Instead of July, I did get September because I want to give this a little bit more space or time to run. You had this really push, hard push, and sellers couldn't actually win the battle. Now you have this pronounced wick right here, which actually means that you had a nice, really hard push on, over the 35 SMA, and then sellers came back in. I mean, you saw the chart, but it wasn't enough. You closed right here. So I'm pretty pleased with what I'm seeing here. I think Nvidia might actually move the needle this week. And if it doesn't, I'm fine. I think there is room for Nvidia to continue going towards 140. My calls are, again, 140, just like the last ones that I had, but instead of July, they're September. And I think if we break 140, we're just going to rip towards 145, which is somewhere in this area. 145 is right here. Let me see if there's a level at 145. Oh, yeah. Well, you have this tiny level at 144.57. So, yeah, 145, and then you're probably going to continue towards 150. All-time highs, I have no idea. But if we break this level right here at 141, this thing is going to move. It might need some time. I think that this week is going to be, as I mentioned, difficult to trade, and people are gonna panic if we get more red days. But I also think that we have definitely an opportunity here to maybe sit back and see how the market moves. I would recommend you buying, options that are dated. So don't be buying. I would not buy anything that is going to expire in the next month or two. That's just you do what you want to do, but I would actually buy options that are at least 90 days in the future. Nothing close to these dates. I think that the end of the year is gonna be choppy from now. We have two more trading or one more trading day, anyways, or half a day. But then you're gonna have, next week I think is gonna be short as well, which completely sucks. But we'll see how the market positions itself. Again, Nvidia out of this entire list right here behaved very nice. Meta was doing really well as well, and then it went down. Amazon also was pretty decent, but then you had this sell-off, and then Google looks extended on this area as well. Well, I end up doing this quick review on these names. Apple is extended. I told you that yesterday, I believe. Tesla, if it doesn't hold this level right here, we're screwed. You go all the way down towards 365. I think I said that yesterday, and probably towards 330. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys, and see you guys tomorrow. Don't subscribe and like the videos. Leave some comments. Other than that, take care. Bye bye.